Now on this, if it was dripping, if it would have been dripping on this nut here, the actual gate valve that's attached to the copper line coming in to the cabinet, I would never try to tighten that. If it was leaking from there, I would not try to tighten that with the water pressure on. I would go out and find the main water and shut that off. Drain the pipe, open up the sink faucet, and make sure there's no water pressure on there before I tighten that up. Because if you try to tighten that with water pressure on there, that whole thing could pop off. And I've had it happen before. But in this case, I can tighten this one here because I'm really not affecting that one. You know, I've got the gate valve turned off. I don't really need to do that either, but I just like to be slightly on the safe side, you know, before I start tightening this nut. Man, I thought I had this pretty tight too, but all it's gonna take is like one little turn. So I'm just gonna kind of hang on to this and turn this a little bit. Man, that nut was actually a little loose. I don't know what the deal with that was. I thought I had it tight last time I was here hooking this up. Okay, I'm not gonna really crank on it because it was loose right there. I'm just gonna do it so it's snug. All right? Keep it so it's snug. And now I'm gonna turn this water back on and see if I get any drips. If I still get a little drip after a few minutes, I can make this tighter. Last thing I want to do is over tighten that, because like I say, I could tighten this so tight that I screw up the threads inside or the shaft that's coming out of here. And I've seen that happen too. All right? So be careful when you're tightening those. All right, so I can put this back on. What happened here? Oh, there we go. I was trying to put it on like that because I forgot I had turned it off. So see, with this one here, there's three little notches in there and there's 3 grooves in this. And they only line up one way. So that's kind of nice. I think I like this new style of gate valve. It's less likely to have problems with it because a lot of times with the older style gate valves, if you go to turn it off, let's say, and the gate valve has not been touched for say five years, maybe 10 years, and you go to try to turn off an old style gate valve, sometimes you get a leak with an old style gate valve. You know, like that one there. I've actually had these leak when you turn them off, or then when you go back to turn them back on because you're turning it and turning it and turning it and turning it and having it all the way out, it starts dripping, and then I'd have to turn it in a little bit to get it to stop dripping, or later on it starts dripping because there's so much more turning, and that's not a good thing. And so ultimately, one day, you know, when there's a problem with this one's going to have to be replaced too with the new style gate valve. Back to our little project here. Okay, I've got that tight. Now see, I guess I could have tightened that up with my wrench with this left on. Okay, I've got it back on now. And even though I don't have the sink running, this could leak at any moment if I don't have it tight enough, because now the water pressure is on to this line going all the way up to the sink because I have the gate valve on now, right? But I'm going to go ahead and run the faucet anyway. I'm just going to keep my eye on that. You remember before the water was coming right there. So now I've got it all nice and dry. And I can look at that for a few minutes before I call it good. Or, you know, if I got to work on something else, I can go do that. Then I can come back and check this after a few minutes, 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes from now, whatever. And then if I see any little bit more, then what am I going to do? I'm going to slightly tighten this nut up a little bit more, and then a little bit more. I just don't want to overdo it all in one go, okay? Very important.